Hi friends, Mindy here. I have a book that I would like to share with you today. This book was sent to me by Crossway for review. I selected this book. It's called Journey to Bethlehem. I think that's just really going to be great for this Christmas season. I'm very excited about it. It is a treasury of classic Christmas devotionals. This is written by Leland Ryken. This is a beautiful hardback book. It has even a ribbon marker in it. I do want to just read quickly this little blurb so you can kind of understand what this book is about. It says, "For centuries, we have treasured the same classic Christmas hymns and passages from history's greatest poets and church figures. But do we fully understand their message? It is time we examine them in a new light. In this insightful selection of classic Christmas hymns, poems, and prose, literary expert Leland Ryken highlights how each work is edifying and stylistically satisfying to expand on its meaning in a fresh way. Each of the 30 daily readings consists of a classic work, literary analysis, takeaway summary, and Bible passage. Throughout the month of December, Journey to Bethlehem will spark new fondness for these classic works as you meditate on the mystery of Christ's incarnation." So it's designed to take you 30 days. There are 30 entries, but it's split up into the 3 different categories. So you have 10 Christmas hymns, 10 poems, and 10 selections of prose. And each day, you can, in the very beginning, I'll just show you at the front. It's a beautiful book. And then, so in the table of contents, it shows how they're split up. So you have the Christmas hymns, it gives you the hymn itself. And then you have the prose devotionals. So you have like entries from Charles Spurgeon, even one from Martin Luther. Then you have a selection of Christmas poems. Some of these are familiar to me and some of them are not. So I'm very excited to read through some of this. I've already started reading this just a little bit to kind of familiarize myself with it. There is an editor's introduction here that I would suggest reading just so that you understand a little bit about how this collection came to be and the way that it's maybe different than just a traditional kind of devotional. But one thing I will show you is part 1 starts the Christmas hymns. And so at this first one, there's like a little introduction page that talks about this section. The first day is Joy to the World, which we all know, and how this is kind of talking about how, you know, most hymns or music starts out as a poem. Anyway, so you have the actual verse here, and then you have some analysis in here, and you also have some information about the author. This was Isaac Watts, and so just gives you kind of some background information on sometimes about the author, sometimes about the work itself, and then kind of a analysis of the actual work itself, whether that's the poem or a hymn or the prose or whatever. But then there's also a section that gives you like a little takeaway for a devotional section, and then also a scripture to focus on that really kind of highlights the point of the writing that you're looking at for that day. And so I really think this is going to be a very interesting way to kind of work through as a way of sort of doing an Advent. I'm not sure if I'm going to start this in the end of November up to Christmas Day or just go through, 30 days in December. I haven't quite decided on that yet. But one of the things that I do like about it is the way that it is divided. So you do have, like I said, the sections that are first the hymns, then the prose devotional, and then the poems. And so if you wanted to kind of split all of that up, you wouldn't have to necessarily do, day 1 through 10 of the hymns. You could jump around if you wanted to. So I like that it has this ribbon marker too, so you can kind of keep your place. And like I said, there are some of these that were familiar to me, and then some of them that I have never heard of. So I know, like, this In the Bleak Midwinter, I have heard that before, but it's been so long, so I'm interested in getting some background on some of that. And so there are just some really interesting ones, even some less known maybe hymns. Like Once in Royal David City, our kids sang that in a Christmas program one year. So I'm actually excited to read some more about that as well. And like I said, I will be working through this or reading through this through the month of December. I just felt like it's a good way to kind of focus and maybe look at some of these things in a new light, and then also focus on the verse that kind of where these writings are pulled from. So it's just a really interesting collection, I think, and sort of approaching it from a different aspect, and I really like that. And then in the back, there's an index of scriptures that are used, so you can kind of see, so if you're doing maybe another study alongside this, if you have an Advent study or something that you're working through for December, you can kind of pull from these scriptures and add this to that. I think that would be really interesting as well. You also have an index that has the persons or the writers that are in here, and then you do have some footnotes here in the back as well, several pages of those. And then again, like I said, it's split into those 3 sections. So I really like that it's like that. So you can kind of just pick and choose if you want to, you know, there's nothing saying that you have to read it cover to cover. You can skip and jump around and do whatever just seems interesting to you at that time. So really excited to work on this. I wanted to go ahead and review it now since I'm going to be using this in December. And like I said, Crossway sent this book to me for review, so I want to thank them for sending this. It's very generous of them. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave those down in the description. I'll do my best to answer them. If you like this video, I would appreciate it if you gave it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And until next time, bye.